So we all saw about a week and a half ago, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, that one of the budget cuts Doge was making was $1 billion to the USDA, and this was a cut that was taking away food from schools and from food banks. And it was also directly affecting farmers because that's where the food was coming from. So it was an exchange between farmers, and farmers would give fresh produce, meat to schools and food banks. And it was about 3/4 of the $1 billion, about 640 went to, so a little less than 3/4, but whatever, went to schools, and then the 460 went, or 360 went to food banks. And this cut is probably the one that I would say that has made me the most sad and the most upset and kind of the most confused on how people are still supporting this and not saying a word, because this program is in 43 states. Not only does it feed children, which I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but 17% of children experience hunger, and then in areas where this program is prominent, the number goes up as high as 25%, which is 1 in 4 kids. So you have 4 kids in line, one of them doesn't have enough food. And to me, that's just, the only word that I can think of to describe that is cruel. I don't understand why, first off, you would want to take a program away from children, but then also from farmers, which the Republican Party claims they support, and a lot of them are farmers. So this was a program that was giving money to farmers to give fresh food to schools, and Doge didn't think that was an effective use of money. And now, here's the thing that makes me, I think, a little bit even more frustrated is a judge blocked it, thank God, because maybe like that judge had some common sense. But then we have Caroline Leavitt sitting here spewing all this stuff that all these judges are Democrat judges and they're just trying to see Trump fall and they hate him. And it's like, okay, but so you think that these children should not be eating? Like, I'm just not understanding, you guys. So, I always come with my sources, I always come with my data. So here is the story that I was going off a couple weeks ago. And so I was wrong earlier in my video. I said 640, it was 660. So $660 million are going into the School Nutrition Association, which I swear, but I could be wrong, wasn't one of the reasons Republicans voted for Trump was because of MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. So you would think kids getting fresh food is probably one of those ways to make America healthy. I mean, that's just my guess. I mean, you guys seem to go back and forth faster than I can even keep up with, because you were mad when Michelle Obama wanted to bring fruits and vegetables and healthy food into schools because you said that it was going to cost too much and you didn't want to spend the money there. And then they've come up with programs to make it cheaper, like this grant where they get the food directly from the farmers, and apparently you guys don't like that. But here's another little bit about it. I think this article is pretty important, so I just want to read this bottom part right here. It says, one of the school districts said that the USDA's decision will wipe out $100,000 in funding that it had planned to spend on local beef and produce for student schools meals. It's a pretty big hit, and that's mostly fresh fruits and vegetables. And this is from Arizona. And they said that it was a godsend to them. A farmer in Massachusetts said that this will be hurting their business. So there's no good reception about this, either from school districts or from farmers. So I'm not understanding who this is benefiting, who this is saving money, who are the people that are coming out on top of this federal cut other than the rich, or allocating this money into different areas for the rich. Because honestly, in my opinion, what's more important than feeding kids and supporting where our food comes from? It doesn't make any sense. But then I did also want to talk about the food insecurities of the United States of America. So this stats from 2022, and like I said, 17% of households with children experience food insecurities, impacting 13.4 million children. So the U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that 44.2 million people live in food insecure households. So this is something that affects a decent portion of our country and affects kids. But I also wanted to talk about the whole food bank part of this. And if you've never had to get food from a food bank for your family, in my opinion, I would consider that a privilege. I don't think people ever want to be in a position where they're having to depend on a food bank to feed their children or feed themselves. But thank God we have them and that they are set up to help. And for those of you that don't know, it's not like these food banks are like Taj Mahals of food. Most of the time what food banks get as far as food is expired food from grocery stores. At least that's, I used to DoorDash from the food bank in where I live. So I would be dropping the food off at people's houses. But most of the time what you get is expired grocery products. Now the food is still all right, but it's not anything a grocery store can sell. So it would just have to be thrown away if it wasn't able to be given to the food banks. So I don't know like what people have built up in their brains of like what people are getting at food banks, and I don't really understand how it's something of like I don't understand why people look down on those that go to a food bank, because in my opinion, I'm thinking, thank God they are humble enough to admit that they need help and that they're getting help and helping their kids, helping whoever. And I think I really think it's important that we continue to be empathetic and we continue to try to support those who need help, because I have been in a position where I needed help. I had to get out of a abusive relationship, and if I wasn't able to get some help from the government at the time that I needed it, I don't know if I would have been able to get out. I didn't get housing. I didn't get free this or free that. I got a TNFT. It was like kind of a grant. So what happened was I got $600 for 6 months, but it was all paid back. So it wasn't something that I just got and never had to pay back. It was paid back through child support. So it was supposed to be, it pretty much until my ex started paying child support, like took the place of what he was supposed to pay in child support. And then when he started paying child support, it paid the program back before I ever got any child support money, if that makes sense. So I think we just need to be more sympathetic. I think we need to be better and we need to do better. And I didn't expect to make this video so long, but I'm a rambler. So if you stuck with me this long, congratulations to you. But let's just do better, guys. And let's stop the nonsense. Keep talking about it. Keep bringing up how uncomfortable this is. Keep bringing up how cruel this is to take food out of the mouths of children. And we will win this war at the end. That is my opinion.